This caldo gallego is the perfect soup to usher in soup season. It's a white bean soup loaded with turnips, turnip greens, potatoes, ham, chorizo. And while it's not traditional to top with Parmesan cheese, I think it's something that you need to try. It's so cozy and perfect for fall. If you like white bean kale soups, you're gonna love this one. Plus, it comes together in one pot and it celebrates turnips in a way that I wish more recipes did. So if all of that sounds good to you, grab your ingredients and let's go. We're starting in a pan with our chorizo and we're just browning it up, rendering as much of the fat as possible to build a super flavorful base for our soup. If you're using already cooked chorizo, I recommend just adding it to the pan and just browning it slightly before removing. You may need to supplement with a little bit of olive oil just to build that base, but you'll still be able to get some great flavor off of it. And I know I've said this in other videos before, but when possible, I recommend using raw chorizo that is not in a casing, especially for recipes like this one when we're using it to build the base of the whole broth for the soup. Okay, so once it's browned, we're going to remove it using a slotted spoon or a spider tool like this one, just to make sure again that we're leaving lots of that fat in the pan, because that's what we're going to use to saute our onions. So add 1 diced yellow onion to the pot and just mix to coat with that oil, keeping it on medium heat so that they can start to sweat and turn translucent. At this stage, your kitchen is already going to be smelling fantastic. And then it is time to add in our garlic. You can add as much or as little garlic as you like. I like to add at least 4 cloves. I can't get enough garlic, so I feel like it adds a lot of flavor here. And then just saute that again until it becomes fragrant, making sure that you're watching closely so that it doesn't brown or burn. And then we are adding our cubed turnips. I like to peel them, but that's totally up to you. And our cubed potatoes. Again, totally up to you if you want to peel them or not. We're also adding in our spices at this stage, so I'm doing some paprika. You can skip this if you like a less smoky soup, but I think it adds great flavor. And then we're also just adding salt and pepper. And mixing everything to coat those veggies in those spices. You can see how the bottom of the pan has those brown bits on it. That's perfect. That means we are building lots of flavor here. We're just going to cook these veggies for a couple minutes before we add in our cooked chorizo. And then we are going to add our ham. So you can either use a piece of smoked ham or a ham hock. This was actually surprisingly difficult to find near me, so I went with the smallest piece of smoked ham I could find, which is giant. And then we're also adding our turnip greens, cannelloni beans, and our broth. And then at this stage, we're just going to mix everything together gently and then turn the heat up to high. We want to bring this liquid to a boil before we lower it, cover it, and just simmer for about 30 to 45 to even an hour, depending on how long you have. And by the end of it, your soup should look a little something like this. The ham completely fell off of that bone. The turnips and potatoes were super tender, and it was just an incredibly cozy meal. Perfect for serving, like I said, with Parmesan cheese and some bread. On a cold day, it is just perfection. Please let me know if you give this a try in the comments, and I will see you next time.